Yeah, okay, so Captain Steve. Today you're calling yourself Dr. Steve, and um, I'm going to respond to you. This is the video of a day ago. So a day ago would be uh, July 11th, 2025. Your title of your YouTube video is Air India 171 Update Fuel Cutoff Switches in Cutoff Position according to WSJ. Now, you're jumping to conclusions a little bit here. You could be right, but you're assuming a psychological issue, and there isn't enough data to come in. Now that that data has come in about the position of the fuel shutoff switches, it's possible they'll investigate the psychological aspect of that pilot or the other in the next few steps of their investigation. But there is an hypothesis that I've written, including on your channel, that you are not addressing, and that is the possibility that something went wrong. Let's say a door malfunction or even electrical malfunction, where the what do you call it again? The fan came down. The the emergency fan came down to try to get power, and that would have. Now, what I was hoping your video would say, instead of going into the counseling session, is, and I hope you got permission from Dave to share his story. I think the student you were talking about was Dave. Is I was hoping you would say the technical stuff that I don't have to look up, which is, for example, could that emergency fan device come down? I can't remember the word right now. And could that have mechanically flipped the switches to off? Is there an accidental programming that, if that is accidentally released through some sort of mechanical or maintenance flaw or electrical flaw, have actually moved those switches in that position? That's what I want to know based on my own hypothesis, to see how accurate it might be. Now, I also have done counseling, and I also know people are in bad shape in a lot of ways, including pilots and air control people too. But I'd like to kind of know a little bit more about that part. Now, when you said that pilots or co-pilots or instructors should ask, how are you doing today? I don't think they should do it every time with the same people, because it's going to wear out. They're not going to get the answer. I think they should pay attention to the body language. And the way you noticed the body language was just in the airs. You didn't notice the nonverbals specifically of that person in the classroom or whatever. So that would be part of the training I hope you would have gotten. And I hope, if you say to somebody, ask that question, but also learn about reading nonverbal language, because sometimes you're not going to notice if somebody's different if they're not the same regular person that you're always flying with, for example, which could be sometimes an advantage. And the counseling sessions, sometimes during flight, if somebody has a skill sets, can be distracting, because they do kind of require a lot of mental effort, that as a listener, to pay attention. And there's also a sense of responsibility in being a good listener in that way, that it could take away from, it's better to say, let's follow up this conversation as we exit the plane on arrival, or go to the hotels or a coffee shop or something like that, right? I hope you're not encouraging too much of that happening, which takes attention away and distracts during the actual flight. And I think, there should be doctors that pilots can call, say, I need you to call my employer and my union, say I'm not in good shape. I need a doctor's note right away, and no arguing. Somebody abuses that, then, there could be consequences, but there should be an easy way for somebody to say, I'm not fit, even if it cancels a lot of flights.